Mr. Lincoln, as you know, we're celebrating the centennial of the Emancipation Proclamation. It's 100 years since the Civil War, and we're celebrating it by having another one, it looks like. So the way this started was he signed a declaration, Abraham Lincoln. Then nothing happened until 1954 when the Supreme Court desegregated the schools. At 91 years, the government doesn't move as fast as we do in this theater. So at that time, President Eisenhower was in office, and it was suggested that he could break down the resistance of Arkansas. Remember Governor Faubus? Remember all that? You're very excited at the time. There's a lot of, I like Governor Faubus, but I wouldn't want him to marry my sister. Remember all that? People know what you know? So, although my father's ready for almost anybody to marry my sister, remember that? Family values. So, Governor Faubus then didn't want to open Little Rock High. You remember that? Just like our problems now. And someone suggested that President Eisenhower take a colored girl by the hand and lead her into the school. And then the president could make a policy decision as to whether or not to use an overlapping grip or something got in the way. So nothing happened now for another few years until last year when James Meredith, an Air Force veteran, decided to go to Ole Miss, which may be a university, depending on your outlook, or the president's legislative program, depending on your degree of conscience. So he registered and went to the school because he said, A, it costs $37 a semester, plus my lab apron and my towel ticket. Remember that? And plus the cost, you know, miscellaneous cost, 17,000 paratroopers and and 1,500 federal marshals on full time. But the point, that was the idea. So he went to school, and Governor Barnett of Mississippi didn't like it, but he went to school. Then that encouraged a lot of demonstrations. You know, people were really becoming hot for the program, as we say in the vernacular. And then there were fire hoses and police dogs, and a lot of marches were going on. And then all this leadership came, which was somewhat fractionated, because you had Martin Luther King and James Meredith and Dick Gregory and Adam Clayton Powell, who was dividing his time between living it up and living it down. He didn't march on Washington because he wasn't in the country that year. So as a result, we then came to the point where people were encouraged to march on Washington. And then they went to Washington, they went to see Robert Kennedy, who addressed them on a bullhorn at the top of the flagpole in the Justice Department because of the size of the crowd, carefully avoiding climbing above the flag because that would be misinterpreted by his friends. And he got up there in a bullhorn and he said, I will talk to your leaders. And he did, kept his word, good thing. And he met with Dick Gregory and Lena Horne in an effort to find out how the average Negro feels in America. As a result of this movement, the only thing that happened was Governor Wallace then said he wouldn't let any Negroes into the University of Alabama. Remember that? And he said, I will stop them by standing in the door, because this university has 23,000 students and 65 acres, but it has one door. So just stand in the door. So you got the National Guard there, and he said, nobody's coming in here because I'm standing in this door. So everybody was including the white students. So unfortunate, but there it is. So he then turned to the National Guard and he said, nobody's coming in, right, General? And the General said, wrong. And the governor said, why? And the General said, because I've been federalized. President Kennedy had started this new verb, zap, you're federalized. So it was a complete panic. By that time, then it was a lot more demonstrations, and as a result, we now find currently that Governor Wallace is in a situation now where he's offered $5,000 last week for anybody who had information leading to the violence in Alabama, which he increased to $50,000 reward, which he collects because he knows who's responsible for the violence. Now, we're doing well. I just thought, now, next week I'll have more of this good news for you. I thought I'd mention that. And I wanted to mention we got the theater ready in time. I want to congratulate you on that, Jerry. And we had one problem because the Jewish New Year came up Wednesday, and a couple of the carpenters wanted some days off. They went to see Jerry, and I kept saying, well, we don't want to be hypocrites. We were raised in this tradition. And he said, that's all right. You can have the day off if you're Jewish. I'm the greatest carpenter of them all. So that's all right, because they didn't get it either. I'll be back with more of this next week. Until then, 4 and 8. Jerry, it's all yours.
For the first time in 4,000 years, announcing a truly new form of flour. Gold Medal Wondra, instantized flour. So perfect to use, you have to remind yourself,
it's really flour.
Watch this Crocker demonstration. Regular flour won't pour. It puffs, it dusts. But new Gold Medal Wondra pours from the like salt. No dust, no mess. It's perfect to use. Dissolve regular flour. Just try. It's slow, it's lumpy. Toss Gold Medal Wondra into water, it mixes instantly. So perfect to use. And Betty Crocker proved.
You can bake without changing a single recipe. From gravies to cakes, Gold Medal Wondra is the most wonderful flour I've ever used.
Costs more? Naturally. Gold Medal Wondra does more. So perfect to use, you have to remind yourself,
it's really flour.
Gold Medal Wondra.
Thank you very much. I think that Mort Sahl is one of the most provocative performers in our business, and I'm very, very proud and delighted to be able to say he's a friend. We became very friendly, and I am now utilizing my own walking Britannica. Anything I don't know, I ask him, and it's pretty interesting, because most of the things I don't know, he don't know, and it gets pretty interesting. But I have things to say, too. They don't deal in the same area. I think that they deal in areas that we all understand, and clarifications really aren't necessary, whereas Mort gets a little, he digs into places where you got to be some type of a crazy person sometimes. But I think most everyone understands it. I speak in terms of the young people. This is called Kids, and it tells the whole story.
Now, just because we're kids, because we're kind of small, because we're closer to the ground, and you are bigger pose to pose, you have no right. You have no right to boss of us little kids around. Now, just because your throat has got a deeper voice with lots of wind to push it out, and little kids who don't dare shout, you ain't got no right. You ain't got no right to boss and shove and kick and spit on us little kids around. Just because you've whiskers on your face to shave, you treat us like a slave. So what? That's only hair. Just because you got a wallet near your heart, you think you're twice as smart. You know that isn't fair. We are going to grow up someday, and when we do, I pray, we won't just grow in size and sound. We'll just get bigger, pound for pound. I'd hate to grow like some adult people I know, who boss and shove us little kids around. Just because we're kids.
Watch The Outer Limits Monday night on the new ABC. This portion of the Jerry Lewis Show live is brought to you by Dial, the soap for people who like people, by Rayette, makers of Aquanet, the all-weather hairspray, and by the compact 1964 Dodge Dart, and by Vista, the new kitchen floor cleaner that really cleans and waxes. And now, here's Jerry again.
Hallelujah! band I ever heard.
That's their way of expressing themselves.
I want to be loved by Mayor Yorty. I want to be held by Adam Bang.
Jerry, would you and...
Hi out there, kid.
Hi, how are you this evening?
Very
Gee,
well. Since the accident, I'm feeling much better.
You're coming in very locally and beautifully. Incidentally, I hope you'll forgive me for a moment.
We have a Boeing 707 coming in.
Well, no, I want to move over there and tell you something that's very important to everybody.
Coming here, Joe?
Oh, all right.
It's all right, Mort. I'll come over here.
We'll sit together.
No, I'll sit over here.
It's Harry, Jimmy, and Al.
Fine. You can sit here a minute with us, Mort. This is something I'm sure you don't even know about.
Another surprise.
Yeah, it's kind of a surprise, and I want the people to follow us. We're running a little late, and I want to get right into it.
All right.
We have come to the portion of the program where we have a little thing we call stick to the script. Now, we I know that's silly right there, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
But we would like to find out really how good...
Hold it 1 second. Folks in the balcony, try and hold it down, will you? Go ahead, Al.
We would like to find out just exactly how good you really are thinking on your feet. Now, we have had a little play that's written especially for this program.
Yeah.
All week long, we've had 5 very fine actors working very hard, learning every line in this play. Now, tonight, we're going to delete one of them, and you are going to take the part of the 5th actor. You don't know anything about it whatsoever. You have no idea what the premise is. And there are a couple little simple rules, Jerry. First of all, you must, by all means, follow these rules. First, answer the questions that are asked in the script. And second, you must go and do what they tell you to do. But more important, try to fit yourself into the script legitimately. Now, do you understand all that?
verbally try to...
Verbally try.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Try.
Improvisation.
Now, would you put these on him so he can't hear anything? The reason we don't want you to hear is because at the beginning, the actors start their... I'll move into here. The actors start their performance, and if you hear, you may know what the premise is, right?
All right.
When do
Just put it on now, and Woody,
when do I walk
you go
or
back
what?
off into the little soundproof booth there, and when you hear a knock on the door like that, that will be your cue to go into the scene where they're performing.
Do I come in with the earmuffs?
No, you can take them off. You won't need those.
All right.
They'll give you the wardrobe.
Wake me at 7.
Can't hear anything at all. Hold them on in tight. Now go on off, if you will, Jerry, and we will set the scene, okay?
Saturday's here.
Fine.
Can't hear a thing. The delegate from Indonesia wants to know what happened to his shorts.
So anyway, now, what I would like to say is to the audience at home, if you will pay particular attention to the first